Playing open chords is a great start for many guitar learners. With open chords, you get a lot of music in return for little effort. Plus, everything that you do here in that open position will be useful for your entire guitar life. You will learn the fingering for all 5 major chords and all 3 minor chords. I'll show you all the mistakes I've seen my students do before they came to me, so you won't regret not having learned it properly in the first place. So let's start with E major. You have your middle finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top. You have your ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. And you have your index finger on the 1st fret, 4th string from the top. Make sure that your ring finger is very close to the fret wire here, so that all other fingers have a chance to be close to the fret wire too. And keep your fingers round instead of flat. So this is what I mean by flat, and this is what I mean by round. And this way you make sure that you hear all the strings, all 6 of them. And this is especially important for the G string, that's the one where your index finger is, because this is the only note that makes a difference between E major and E minor. If you can't seem to hold them that round, that might be because your fingernails are too long. Long fingernails push your fingers away from the fretboard, which results in flat fingers and not round ones. Next is A major. So we have those 3 fingers on the 2nd fret, ring fingers on the 2nd string from the bottom, middle finger 3rd string, and index finger 4th. And again, have your ring finger very close to the fret wire, so that all other fingers can be close to the fret wire too. Then twist your hand a little bit and think of your 3 fingers being a traffic light. Then have your middle finger slightly overlapping your ring finger. This again brings your middle and your index finger closer to the fret wire. And if you're still having difficulties with your D string, that's the one where the index finger is, and it sounds like so. Try to get it a bit closer to the fret wire again and apply a bit more pressure to get a clear sound. D major. So we have our middle finger, 2nd fret, bottom string. We have the ring finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string from the bottom, and index finger is on the 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom. And keep your middle finger very close to the fret wire here, so that all other fingers can be close to the fret wire too. And then twist again your hand as if you wanted to have a look at your watch on the left wrist, which will make your fingertips point to your right shoulder. And then try to stretch your index and your ring finger a little bit more to get closer to the fret wire. When playing D major, the low E string, that one here, is not part of the chord. So you have 2 choices here. You can either avoid it when you strum, just don't play it, or when you finger pick, you just don't play it. Or a second choice would be bring your thumb up, having it right on the edge of the neck here, which will mute that string. And then you can safely strum all strings and it will sound great. G major. We have our ring finger, 3rd fret on the bottom string, and middle finger, same 3rd fret on the top string. Try to keep your fingertips very close to the fret wire, and also keep your thumb near those 2 fingers and not very far away. And then have your middle finger flat enough to mute that 2nd string from the top, the A string, because that note doesn't belong to G major. The next chord is C major. We have the index finger here, 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom, middle finger, 2nd fret, 4th string from the bottom, and ring finger, 3rd fret, 5th string from the bottom. Make sure that your fingertips are pointing to your right shoulder. Have your index finger very close to the fret wire to allow all fingers to be close to the fret wire too. And then have your fingers round enough to make sure that all strings, that you hear all strings. And here again, although E is part of C major, the low E string in most cases doesn't sound that good. So 2 choices, either you avoid it, when you strum or when you finger pick, you just don't play it, or you bring your thumb up and mute the low E string, having that part here right on the edge of the neck. E minor. We have the middle finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top, and ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the top. Make sure that your ring finger is very close to the fret wire, so your middle finger can be too. And then have your fingers round enough so that you hear all 6 strings, especially the G string here, because this is again the one that makes the difference between E major and E minor. The next chord is A minor. You have your index finger, 1st fret, 2nd string from the bottom, ring finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom, and middle finger, 2nd fret, 4th string from the bottom. Keep your ring finger very close to the fret wire so the other fingers can be close to the fret wire too. And if you remember, that fingering is the exact same as for E major, but this time we're 1 string down here. Keep your fingers round to allow the high E string to sound. Want to hear that note? And again here, often that A minor sounds better without the low E string, although it's part of the chord. You have 2 choices here again. Either you avoid it when you strum and you just don't play it, or you have your thumb up muting the low E string, and then you can safely strum all strings. And this one here is D minor. You have 2 choices for the fingering here. I'll show you the one that I like better first. So you have your index finger on the 1st fret, bottom string. You have your little finger, 3rd fret, 2nd from the bottom. And you have your middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string from the bottom. And the second option would be, instead of having your little finger, you could have your ring finger here, same spot. But I find it very hard to, or at least harder, to be close to the fret wire here. So I choose this one here, having the little finger on the 3rd fret. And again here, the low E string is not part of the chord, so you don't play it when you strum it or when you finger pick it, you just don't play it. Or second option, you have your thumb up and mute the low E string, and then you can play all strings. And 3 more tips for you. So when you change chords, move all fingers at the same time and make them arrive at the same time. So again, when you change chords, move all fingers at the same time and make them arrive at the same time. Also, take the shortest distance possible for each finger. So let's have a look at that example here of E major to A major. So what we're doing here is those 2 fingers stick together, they go straight down. They stay in that fret, they go straight down. While at the same time your index finger goes 1 string up and 1 fret to the right. Okay, that's what this finger is doing. And then combined, we have that. I move all fingers at the same time, I arrive at the same time, and I take the shortest distance possible. Tip number 2, keep your fingernails short on the left hand. Too long fingernails push your fingers away from the fretboard, which makes it way harder to play or in some cases even impossible. And in the long run, you will ruin your fingerboard. And tip number 3, find a comfortable position for yourself and your guitar. So sitting low helps, like on the edge of a bed or a sofa. If you're on a stool, bring one leg over the other so that the guitar comes up. And don't have the body of the guitar parallel to your upper body, but as if you were holding it under your right arm. Having those open chords under your fingers is a great start. If you're ready to take it a step further without playing too complicated things, check out this video here.